Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the President of the Republic returns to the country following his participation in the various COP28 meeting in Dubai. The Kenyan Parliamentary President Moses Masika addresses the National Republic. For the international scene, several dead and wounded in the shelling of a house in the east of Khan Yunis. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, returned to the country today following his participation in the 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. President Guelleh's participation in the 28th UN Climate Change Conference took the form of interventions in all the proceedings of the event, as well as separate meetings organized on the sidelines, including a summit of the G77 countries and China on climate, and an IGAD forum on the theme African Alliance for Green Industrialization, achieving sustainable economic growth and promoting sustainable economies. At the opening ceremony of the Summit of Head of State and Government of the 28th United Nations Climate Conference, COP28, which will end on December 12, 2023, the President of Djibouti emphasized the need for the final implementation of the separate international solidarity funds previously agreed on the principle of transcontinental problems posed by the phenomenon of global warming. These two separate funds are respectively made up on a financial endowment for developing countries to cover the costs of their energy transitions. At the G77 China summit held on the sidelines of the COP28, President Guelleh called for the alliance to evolve into the force to be reckoned with the decisive influence in international climate deliberations. As for the IGAD Forum on the promotions of green industrializations in Africa, also took place on the sidelines of the COP28, the President of the Republic, current chairman of IGAD, highlighted the multifaceted measures already taken by the countries of the regional organization to ensure an efficient energy transition. As part of his 28-hour official visit to Djibouti, the Speaker of the Kenyan Parliament visited the National Assembly today, warmly welcomed by the Djibouti National President of the National Assembly, Dileita Mohamed Dileita. On his arrival by the President of the Parliament, the Speaker of the Kenyan Parliament had a one-to-one face-to-face meeting with the Dileita before being invited to take part in a special sessions organized for the occasions. This face-to-face meeting was an opportunity for the two speakers to consolidate their dialogue and dwelt at length on the bilateral cooperation ties uniting Djibouti and Kenya, stressing lastly that these age-old relations between the two countries must be strengthened. Following this, the two presidents headed for the hemicycle, where they were awaited by the representatives of the Djiboutian people. After a long-standing ovations by the representatives of the diplomatic corps, the president of the Kenyan Parliament took part in the session, during which the president of the Djiboutian Parliament gave a welcome speech before giving the floor for his Kenyan counterpart. It is a great honor and pleasure for me to welcome you to the National Assembly of Djibouti, said Dileita Mohamed Dileita to the Speaker of the Kenyan Parliament. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Dileita Mohamed Dileita, went on to emphasize the common values shared by Kenya and Djibouti. Our two countries, he said, are located in the same geographical area of the Horn of Africa and face similar challenges. Now listen to the Speaker of the Kenyan National Assembly, Mr. Moses Ula.
And I'm delighted to speak to you just a few months after my own President, Dr. William Ruto, came to this parliament and addressed you. Djibouti and Kenya are members of IGAD, we are members of COMESA, but above all, we have a shared vision and shared destiny of ensuring that the Horn of Africa region, the Eastern African region, is integrated and we pursue human development for our great people. Kenya, as your southern neighbor after Somalia, is a country of 50 million people with a great human resource development, housing the only United Nations headquarters outside New York and Europe. I salute the great people of Djibouti and your government for continuously supporting Kenya in its hosting this important UN agency. Kenya and Djibouti have a shared history in many ways. When I was the foreign minister of Kenya, there was a resurgence of piracy along the eastern coast of Africa. Kenya and Djibouti and our friends came together and we gallantly resisted the threat to trade routes in the region that was posed by this piracy. I salute the great people of Djibouti and the government of President Ismail Gwele for this great partnership. President William Ruto of Kenya is currently the African leader on climate change issues. As we stand here today, President Ismail and President Ruto are in Dubai, in UAE, for COP28. And I want to encourage our two parliaments to be on the front line as climate change champions, engineering legislation, engineering policies that can help our regions adapt and mitigate the ravages of climate change.
The Speaker of the Djiboutian National Assembly, Dileita Mohamed Dileita, said it is a great honor and pleasure for me to welcome you to the National Assembly of Djibouti. To the Speaker of Kenyan Parliament, the Speaker of National Assembly, Dileita Mohamed Dileita, went on to emphasize the common values shared by Kenya and Djibouti. Our two countries, he said, are located in the same geographical area of the Horn of Africa and face similar challenges. Mr. Dileita recalled the President Ruto's official visit to Djibouti on June 11, during which the President of the Republic of Kenya delivered a majestic address at the solemn ceremony held in the National Hemicycle, in which he announced, among other things, that visa for entry into Kenya would be waived for Djiboutian passport. It is also a singular attention that the national representation is about to receive for the second time the message of the Kenyan people. He said in substance, President Ruto's message to strengthen our bilateral relations it must be emphasized in line with the strong and privileged secular ties between our two countries. As member of the National Assembly, in our efforts to fulfill our cardinal mandates of representing our constituents, overseeing the government of the day and its associated entities, and legislating, formulating laws, may we not lose sight of the need to leverage collaborations and partnership with other assemblies. As part of the COP28, Finance Minister Ilyas Musa Dawale played a key role in the high-level dialogue on the Horn of Africa initiative, Building Resilience in the Horn of Africa. This strategic event aimed to explore the complex environmental, social, and economic issues impacting resilience to climate-related hazards. The Horn of Africa initiative, a coalition of 7 countries for development partners, African Development Bank, BMZ, European Union and World Bank, and the intergovernmental IGAD, focuses on sustainable development and tackling the roots of underdevelopment and instability, including climate change. The region is experiencing the full brunt of devastating consequences of climate change, with insufficient rainfall for 2020 to 2023 and recent flooding. The 2023 Global Food Crisis report revealed that 55.5 million people in the IGAD region is faced to food insecurity, highlighting the urgent need for resilience-building strategies. The event provided an opportunity to catalyze collaboration between different stakeholders, including government representatives, international organizations, civil society, academia, and private sector. The vulnerabilities of the Horn of Africa, accentuated by historic cross-border movement, manifests fragility and deficient infrastructure, underlining the needs for a collective approach to shared challenges. The Minister of Energy and in charge of Natural Resources, His Excellency Yunus Ali Ghedi, is taking part in the Conference of the Parties on Climate Change, COP28, which opened in Dubai, United Arab Emirates on Thursday, November 13, 2023. On the sidelines of this major event, international event dedicated to the fight against climate change, Minister Yunus Ali Ghedi and the CEO of the UAE-based AMIA Power, Mr. Hussein Al-Noaisi, yesterday signed a memorandum of understanding on the launch of studies to extend the capacity of the Grand Bara solar power plant construction project from 25 to 50 megawatt with a battery storage system. The MOU signed today provides for the launch of the studies lasting more than 2 years, which will lead to the expansions of the project by a further 25 megawatt, reaching an aggregate capacity of 50 megawatt within the next 5 years. This commitment by both parties is in line with the Djibouti 2035 visions of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, in terms of developing the renewable energies available in our countries in general and exploiting our strong solar energy potential in particular. The follow-up workshop to the Djibouti Trade Policy Review came to a close yesterday at the Sheraton Hotel. The meeting began on November 27 under the patronage of the Minister of Trade and Tourism. In his closing speech, the Secretary General Ali Dawood expresses his satisfaction with the proceeding, the conclusions reached by the committee, and the recommendations made. He recalled that the meeting was also an important opportunity for exchanging ideas and sharing experiences. He emphasized that the depth of reflections had helped identify the need for a technical assistance to enable our country to participate more actively in the work of the World Work Organizations. On this occasion, the Secretary General thanked the world experts for hosting the meeting and the national stakeholders for their participation, as well as the European Union for its support. Let's listen. An unprecedented medical achievement of the Arta Regional Hospital corneal transplant are now being carried out in Djibouti. 3 December 2023, the Arta Regional Hospital is opening a new era in the field of e-health, with now the prospect of carrying our corneal transplant on site on the national territory. Patients eligible for this procedure can now consider having their transplant performed locally, eliminating the need for traditional medical evacuations abroad. Furthermore, this unprecedented initiative represents the concrete hope of secure transfer of skills, which will pave the way for the permanent practice of corneal transplant on a national scale. The partners involved will express their satisfaction with the result of the first successful corneal transplant operations. This medical advance is part of the broader mission of the Universal Health Insurance, aiming to promote the health and well-being of the population by guaranteeing access to quality medical care wherever it may be. Training for doping control officer begin in Djibouti. The training sessions for doping control officer began this Friday, December 1st, 2023 at the Sagalou conference room of the Sheraton Hotel. 9 agents are taking part in this training, including 5 young new agents from Djibouti, 2 girls and 3 boys, 2 agents from Comoros, and 2 major Djiboutian agents. The training session is led by the General Administrator of the Regional Anti-Doping Organization, Mr. Paul Nyoze, takes place under the close supervision of the eminent representative of the World Anti-Doping Agency. This initiative underpins the collective determination is to preserve the ethics and purity of sports derby, ensuring a healthy future for future competitions. It should be noted that this training constitutes a major milestone in the fight against doping in sport, underlining the commitment of Djibouti and ORAD, the member countries, to fair and equitable competitions for all athletes. As part of the cooperation between the Republic of Djibouti and the South Province, the Sud Provence Alpes Côte d'Azur region is a delegation comprising the national coordinator of this cooperation, Mr. Mohamed Roble Dabar, the Director General of the University Hospital of Djibouti, Dr. Omar Mahmoud Ismail, and 2 other in France, 2 other executives from the institute, the High Institute of Health Sciences, visited Toulon, France from November 29 to December 1st, 2023 for the partnership programs in the health sector. The delegation was invited by the director of the Groupement Coopération Sanitaire de l'Institut de Formation Publique Varois des Professions de Santé, Josie Chambon, who is also a regional councillor and deputy mayor of Toulon. The aim of this mission was to develop partnerships for the exchanges of healthcare professionals through international mobility to find ways of supporting the constructions of the management of the Djibouti University hospitals to strengthen the expertise of paramedics through training and capacity building programs, and to organize humanitarian missions in the Republic of Djibouti. During their stay, the delegation was given a presentation of the different training courses offered at the various sites of this major institute in the Var region, and meet key figures such as the mayor of Toulon, Ms. José Massi, the general manager of Toulon Hospital, Mr. Yann Lebras, director of care, and the other local personalities. The delegation also attended the fourth day of the Mediterranean Health Conference at the Palais Neptune in Toulon, a colorful event in recognition of this noble profession. On the sidelines of the visit, the delegation took part in a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the inauguration of the Spice store opened by a Franco-Djiboutian from Marseille, Ali Aden Hassan, known as Ali Baba, in the heart of Toulon, on the main square of the Lafayette Market. The ceremony was sponsored by Toulon Town Hall and attended by the members of the Djiboutian delegation and many fellow Djiboutians from the southern region. The owners of former students from Djibouti who ran a similar stores on Marseille's famous Rue d'Aubagne for over 25 years. They decided to invest in Toulon to bring spices from around the world closer to the people of the Var. The One and Indivisible Youth Movement organized this Saturday, November 25, in collaboration with the International Organization for Migrations in the Tadjoura region, a training and information workshop for young people in the Tadjoura region, Tadjoura and Obok, on humanitarian mobility linked to climate change at the Gadile Resort Hotel. The objective of the training was to improve young people's knowledge of the links between migrations and climate change. At the opening of the workshop, the president of the One and Indivisible Youth Movement, Ahmed Mogola, while emphasizing the importance of training in the field of human mobility in relation to climate change, highlighted emphasizing the interests of civil society and youth organizations to work more closely with the IOM and actively engage in the theme of human mobility in the context of climate change through collaboration active. Young people are made aware of the links between migrations and climate changes and their dynamic role in the fight against climate change. The One and Indivisible Youth Movement would like to thank the president of the prefect of the Tajura region, Mr. Muhammad Abbas, and the president of the regional council, Mr. Omar Hussein Omar, for their cooperation and support in the organizations of the training and information workshop for young people on human mobility linked to climate changes in the Tajura region. As part of the fierce fight against illicit trafficking of goods and operation to seize contraband cat was carefully carried out by the mobile customs teams and the armed forces of the Hol School, demonstrating the unwavering commitment to preservation of national economic integrity. During this operation, customs officers managed to intercept approximately six packages of cat, each containing 100 packages of this illicit substance. The seizures was followed by immediate actions on the ground where the seized products were incinerated, thus affirming the country's determination to eradicate this scourge decisively. Cat smuggling in particular poses a serious threat to the local economy, with the customs and military officials working together to dismantle these illicit networks and protect the country's border from this harmful trade. The destructions of the goods seized on the site underlined the firm commitment to eliminate illegal activities which undermined the economic stability of Djibouti. This action aims to discourage not only traffickers but also to raise awareness among the population on the harmful consequences of these practices on the national economy. The Djiboutian Authority thus reaffirmed their unwavering desire to preserve the security and prosperity of the countries by intensifying measures to combat illicit trafficking, and that success of these joint operations relies on close collaboration between the heads of the mobile customs team. Musa Muhammad said that we are not tyrants to pursue this illicit trafficking of goods. Following the call of solidarity for the Palestinian people from His Excellency the President of the Republic, the Youth Initiative Yellow Coin for the young people of Gaza also made Mount Ugul vibrate, and the first funds collected at the CDC of the capital of the region are paid this Saturday, December 2, 2023. This gesture is marked by the fraternal solidarity for young Palestinian markers, yet another realization of this surge of popular solidarity. Indeed, after the CDC of Tamerjok, Ali Sabih Dekhil Obok, it is the turn of the organizing committee for the collection of the CDC at the CDC of Arta to make its first payment. This crucial stage took place in complete transparency in the presence of the sub-prefect Mohamed Fouzi and the diligent members of the youth committee for the collective collection, witnesses of this unwavering solidarity. Indeed, it is for several days and in an atmosphere of a united commitment that the young people and community of Arta have been raising awareness and fundraising in favor of the Palestinians. The first payment was made to Bank Salam this week, and this is a laudable gesture which symbolizes the materializations of the spirit of solidarity which animated all components of the Arta population. Young people, by making this first payment, have not only strengthened the chain of solidarity, but also demonstrate that their involvement in the bearing fruit. Finally, this initiative marks the beginning of a long series of actions lasting support for Palestinian civilians in Gaza. For the international scene, several dead and injured in the bombing of a house in the eastern Khan Yunis. At least two Palestinians were killed and other injured on Saturday in an Israeli raid targeting a house belonging to the Abadla family east of the town of Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip. The Minister of the Interior of the Gaza Strip said that the Israeli occupation targeted a house belonging to the Al-Abadla family in the locality of Al-Qarara in the east of the city of Khan Yunis, causing several deaths and injuries. Medical and civil defense teams are on site to rescue the injured and extricate victims from the rubble. The Israeli strike caused massive destructions in the targeted area. Hundreds in the United States protest Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip. Hundreds of people demonstrate in New York and Washington on Saturday, demanding an end to new Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip, gathered around New York's Central Park and marching towards Times Square. Demonstrators held banners criticizing the policies of the Israeli and American government towards Gaza. Activists called for a permanent ceasefire at the Beachside enclave. During the demonstration, which lasted for hours, people criticized American policy on this issue and chanted slogans such as "Ceasefire now," "Enough is enough," and "Free the Palestine." In Washington, another demonstration took place in front of the White House, where demonstrators chanted the slogan in favor of Palestine. During the demonstrations titled "Death," a group of activists placed dolls wrapped in clothes outside the gates of the White House in memory of the children who lost their lives in the Israeli attacks. The Israeli army resumed its bombings of the Gaza Strip on Friday morning after declaring the end of the week and humanitarian pause. At least 193 Palestinians have been killed and 652 injured since Friday in Israeli airstrikes, according to Gaza's health ministry. More than 50,200 Palestinians, mostly women and children, have been killed in Israeli attacks since October 7, following a surprise attack by the Palestinian resistance group Hamas. The official Israeli death toll stands at 1,200. During the 28th editions of the COP28 in Dubai, and 116 countries committed yesterday to tripling the capacity of renewable energy in the world. The European Union will contribute 2.3 billion euro to support a global transition to clean energy this Saturday during the 28th editions of the conference party organized in the An agreement was signed on the 116 countries in order to triple the renewable energy capacity in the world. Horizon 2030 announced the presidency of the COP28. Among the signatories are the United States, Canada, Japan, and European Union. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.